ラフウェアの創業者パトリックに8つの質問を聞いてみたよ。ラフウェアを立ち上げたきっかけを教えてください。
Well, I was out mountain biking in Southern California in Los Padres National Forest, and while I was there, a friend had brought along a plastic bag to water her dog, and she had put some water in a plastic bag, but when she offered the plastic bag to her dog, the bag would fall over and spill all the water out. And I had some previous experience using waterproof fabrics and with a previous business of a paddle sport business. And so as I was driving home, I was thinking if I were to take the waterproof fabric and instead of keeping water out, I could turn it around and keep water in. So I made the first bowl with the waterproof fabric and put some water in it. And basically, I'd solved the problem of bringing along a portable water bowl for a dog on the go.
ブランド名であるラフウェアの由来を教えてください。
The brand name came from a trip down in Mexico. We were traveling. We were with family and friends. How you doing? What are you up to? Had two businesses at the time: Mariner Marine Works, which was a yacht business, and then Salamander Paddle Gear, which was a paddle sport business. And I told my friend that I was starting up this third business, but I needed a name for it. And so we got to talking about other things, and we ended up drinking some tequila and having some margaritas. And I went to sleep that night after a long night, and I woke up the next morning, and my friend Al LeBrun was looking over me. I was sleeping on the floor, and he said, "I got it." And I said, "You got it? What do you got, Al?" And he said, "I got the name to your new business." And I said, "Well, what is it?" And he said, "RUFFWEAR." And I thought, that's brilliant. And what I loved about the name, and what I love about the name, is the connotation of rough being durable and strong. It's what dogs say. And wear, again, being durable. It's what dogs, they can wear the product, or it's just durable goods that they can use.
新しい製品やアイデアはどのように生まれることが多いのですか？
Like boots and backpacks, they all come from a challenge or a problem. There were other dog boots out there at the time, and the boots were functional, but they didn't fit very well. They came up high on the dog's leg, and they would often fall off. And so the challenge was, how can you make a dog boot that stays on the dog's paw? And I just looked at the boots that were being offered and came up with an idea: what if we just fasten around the narrowest part of the dog's paw and then it stays secure? And so for me, that's a functional part of building a product that stays on the dog's leg and continues to perform. Same thing with a backpack for a dog. Coming up with a solution that is a harness that you put on the dog, and then the pack connects to the harness, and then it had a hydration system within the harness, as well as compression systems and the ability to carry its own water. So each one of our products really comes from solving new challenges that you might experience when you're out there recreating with your dog.
犬とのスペシャルな思い出やエピソードはありますか？
Yeah, I think one of my fondest memories with my Australian cattle dog, he was my first Australian cattle dog. I've now had 4 Australian cattle dogs, but my first Australian cattle dog would go kayaking with me. And I had purchased a very high performance life jacket and put it on my dog Otis, and we were kayaking down a river called the Forks of the Kern River. And as we were coming down the river, the river would get cliffed out, and my dog would get cliffed out, and I'd have to call him down and then get him to the other side of the river where he could run the riverbank. When I was calling him down, I went to put him on my kayak, and when I did, he fell out of his life jacket. And it was at that point that I was very scared. I was in my kayak. There was a class 5 drop, a waterfall just below me, and I had my paddle and my dog's life jacket, and my dog was in the water, and I was balancing very precariously. And so I had to calm myself, get my dog back on the kayak, put the life jacket on, and get to the other side. We finished out the rest of the river run that day, and we got back to camp. And when we got to camp, I put the life jacket on my dog thinking that I had misadjusted it or not put it on correctly. And every time I tightened it and put it on every way I could still spill my dog out of the life jacket. And it was at that point that I thought I could build a better life jacket. And so from that experience, I built the float coat, and that's one of our top selling products. It performs really well, and it just opens up opportunities for dogs to go with us in different environments. I think a lot of people, they'll say, well, dogs can swim, why do you need a life jacket on a dog? But we're taking our dogs in places that they may not choose to go. They may not choose to go out on a boat, or they may not choose to go out on a kayak. And so anytime we're taking our dog further out on the adventure, it's an opportunity for us to give them the same level of performance and gear that we would expect for our own. And if my dog goes in the water, I have a handle on the back of the life jacket, and I can assist my dog back on the kayak or the paddleboard or back on the boat, whatever it is.
どんな新商品が出るの？ちょっとだけでもいいので教えてください。
Sure. We have several new projects in the works. One project I would tell you about is in the outdoor industry, we often take a sleeping bag into the backcountry. And the challenge with a sleeping bag is that when you sleep on insulation, you're basically compressing that insulation, and so you don't have any insulation. More modern sleeping bag systems have a insulated or inflatable pad that you sleep on, and then you put the blanket or the insulated portion on top of you. We've been working on a project where the dog has a sleeping system that covers their top, but they don't have to have insulation underneath them. That's a new item that we've been testing. We think we'll come out with that pretty quickly.
日本の文化や人々はどのように感じますか？
Yeah, I think one thing that comes to mind for me with visiting Japan is the honor and respect and kindness that the Japanese culture has. And I had an opportunity to learn about Hachiko years ago, and that story really resonated with me with the compassion that the dog has for his fellow human, and I think that that's oftentimes misunderstood with us until we get to know our dogs. But certainly it seems like the Japanese culture and the Japanese people appreciate and value that relationship, and I think there's a lot of relationship.
最後に日本のファンへ向けてメッセージをお願いします。
Yeah, I think I would say to the Japanese Ruffwear fans out there is thanks for joining us, and thanks for being part of our expanding family. We really appreciate the opportunity to share our products with you, and we just look forward to bringing more product out and finding unique ways in which you recreate or go places with your dog and how we can help.